Hi, I'm Peter Brousseau for 101 Small Business Mastermind, although you can't tell it because my lower one-third is not there. I guess I got to put up my 101 marketing, which was the wrong one last week again. With us, we have our standard cadre of stellar individuals. Say good morning, Dick.
Good morning, Dick.
And say good morning, Frank.
Good
Frank,
morning, Dick.
there you go. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Up on my deck, I'm going to talk about Reddit. Some people know what Reddit is, and some don't. Reddit is considered a social media. However, I've not liked Reddit myself because some guys got on there and lambasted me, and I couldn't fix it at all in any fashion. And I found out the wrong end of Reddit. Even tried to talk with the CEO of Reddit at one time, and of course, there's no way to send an email. There's no way to get any help. But there, let me get over here to Reddit. I think close to going out of business. And what's happened to them, which is what happened to me. You guys got my screen
Yes,
here?
yes.
What happened to them is, in fact, they got all these haters going on there, which is what happened to me. A group of people who lambasted my Defender product, not knowing anything about it, and acting completely ill-informed, and I couldn't get it fixed in any fashion. But at any rate, so they got all these groups, hater groups, hate everything. And they have a moderator in their group and moderates supposedly the information, but everything was always open and free to do whatever with. Excuse me. And because of that, all the hate groups have taken over, and they've got to do something. So they're claiming that they're the bastion and the last bastion of free speech. But hate speech isn't necessarily free speech. Everybody can have an opinion, but so anyway, they got some problems going on there, and from my standpoint, it's not. They're going to have to clean up their house. But so that's Reddit. You guys have any questions on Reddit?
No, just reading.
No, I've never really.
Yeah, Frank.
I've never really used Reddit, but I do know that I saw a headline last week where Ellen Powell, the lady who claimed discrimination
Exactly.
because she's a woman, was the CEO, and I didn't even know she became CEO of Reddit.
Mhm.
So I don't know that much about them, but I say that I didn't know anything until Ellen Powell's name was mentioned.
Right, and she's actually on hanging out now. They were going to throw her out or something, but she just hangs out now. But that was just really bizarre to see how all that worked, And
Well, it's interesting she can sue because that article you had up there, she sent out an apology to everyone for her bad management, and and now she's suing. She admitted she was doing a bad job. That's interesting.
yeah, hard to know all how that worked. Here's that article that there's a lot of bad blood going around this week, and but this is their current CEO, and I guess the creditors are basically going to do more to shut them down than anything. So that's Reddit.
Yeah.
So,
And
in reading that thing, it was their initial intention was to almost be like a place where people can go and do a forum and discuss things, and
that was the idea.
That was the initial idea.
Well, the initial idea was that in news, and so that people could comment on the news, almost like you're seeing on the Drudge Report now.
Yeah.
They have comments on the bottom that you can weigh in on each of the topics, which I find more fascinating than the news topic.
Yeah.
But that's what they were going to do. But I guess they've just gotten infiltrated with haters, white supremacists and Black Panthers and opposite poles, and hate this, hate that. Everything's hate, 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 and it's just gotten a mess, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and my problem again is anybody can say anything they want, and they're not accountable. Nobody's
Yeah.
held accountable for anything, and
Yeah.
I just find a place that you can say anything without any proof of anything marginal at best.
Right. Well, to some degree, Twitter has become that kind of a place too, where
Yeah.
people just drop bombs and there's no responsibility or anything. I guess they can take their Twitter address down, but they just come up with a new one 10 seconds later.
Yeah. Well, at least with a. Go ahead, Frank.
Not only can they do that, but Bloomberg, which I watch a lot of on TV, Bloomberg TV, had major headline. I think it was 2 mornings ago. Twitter in talks to be bought for $31 billion,
Wow.
and it sent the price of Twitter stocks soaring,
Yeah.
right? Because Twitter's been having its problem. Costello resigned, and Dorsey took over, and I don't know how many minutes later I got another notice from Bloomberg. Sorry, that story was a fake.
Oh my God.
That story was a fake.
They
Meanwhile,
track these things.
people put their money and bought the stock in anticipation of. So now someone, I don't know which agency, is investigating to see if this was done for monetary gain, in which case it's a crime.
Yeah.
It's a crime. So, but again, the point bringing is that you can say anything you want, and that's what happened a couple of mornings ago, and it happened to a major corporation like Bloomberg, who's in the business, and they got taken back by that. So.
Yeah. All right. So next on my block is a really cool place, and I've used these people. See if I can get them up here. Boy, my technology today is just killing me. Or lack thereof. Here we go. Fiverr. A lot of people don't know about Fiverr. But for $5, that's the starting price. And typically you can get a lot of stuff for $5. And but you can get designers. You can have a resume written for you. Trendy logos. You can get video testimonials. All kinds of stuff. You got a virtual assistant there for $5 for 3 hours. 3 hours. It's amazing. And here's a convincing natural testimonial guy. But there's a great access to accent to your business. You can get a lot of different stuff here. Let me see. Let's get some you can hunt for by name. We'll get some testimonial capability here. And I've done 4 of these myself, where in fact they'll do product reviews for you, which is kind of cool for $5. To make a testimonial review for $5, basically. And if you want them to do more, it's an additional $5, $5, $5. And I did 4 testimonials with the Defender, and I actually sent them the Defender to play with, obviously to utilize before they did a testimonial. Everybody loved it, of course. And so there's a lot of possibilities here for people to get video testimonials, and hopefully they're legitimate, but these guys don't care if they are or they're not. But great thing if you need a logo done. Let's look for a logo here. I learned about these people about a year ago. So here's a professional logo person for $5, and what's neat about them is it's kind of like a review site as well. So people right here, he's had 1,268 buyer reviews, and he's got a 4.9 out of 5. Orders in the queue, 233. So he's quite busy, he or she. And basically, they'll do a logo for him. And If you need it extra fast, it's $20. You make 2 logos with a VIP support for $40, and so you can see that they have add-ons capabilities that you might want to get, but they work, and they work pretty darn good. So if anytime anybody needs something like this is a great place to go. And again, you can pick them out by, that's a pretty nice logo that somebody had done there, or this person did.
Yeah.
And what a great way for people at home that are talented in this area to make some money, you know? Fiverr.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Here's video and animation, commercials. Yeah, just all kinds of different stuff. Music and audio, programming technology. Our favorite topic, WordPress.
WordPress,
yeah. I'll fix your error for $5.
Yeah.
We could have used him.
That's for sure.
God Almighty.
Yeah.
Here's a person that'll do SEO, but lots of. Let's see what they have under business. Business plans, business career advice, business marketing. Presentations, virtual assistant business tips, branding services, financial consulting, legal consulting, and other. I don't know what other is here. Well, there's other stuff, it looks like here. All right. Any questions on Fiverr?
Yeah, Peter, I saw you had that one person 4.9 review.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know if whoever runs this site does any background or checking on the people that sign up, or is the buyer beware?
It's buyer beware, but you can see the ratings, and
Right.
The ratings are real through their site. And my experience has been nothing but positive.
Okay.
I had one guy that was looking at writing my resume. He got stumped the same way I did. You know, it's too much data. You know, and how do you encapsulate that? And but he, and now whether his style would have worked, I was looking for something different. You know, like Frank always talks about, don't do whatever your competitors are doing, don't do that. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have a standard resume done. I wanted something really different. That can hurt you and that can help you. But anyway, this guy did pretty. He really didn't deliver on this product, but the only case I had. The other ones are phenomenal. You've seen them. The guy the gangster guy with the Defender, funny as heck.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 other testimonials plus 1 press release.
Yeah.
Kind of guy standing in front of a podium, supposedly in front of City Hall, and they turned out great. You know? But
absolutely.
That's my A block, guys.
Okay.
Let me see that. You know what time that means, Frank? Right? Hang on.
I'm waiting.
I'm working it. There you go.
Hey, it's time for a twin. This week in the news. Business lessons for small business owners that we can get from this week's headlines. This week's in the news, or this week's headline is, "Hey DJ, thank you for the small business lesson." And the question always is, who the heck is DJ? Well, let me tell you about DJ. DJ was born in 1946, which means he is 69 years old, in Queens, New York. And his parents were professional. And DJ, how can I put it kindly, was a pain in the butt as a kid. So much so that at the age of 13, DJ's parents were called to school and says, "We can't control your kid." And so the parents took DJ out of public school and sent him to a military academy to learn discipline. Now, both of you guys are military guys, so you guys can relate to that. And son of a gun, it worked. DJ learned discipline, and DJ became a pretty damn good student, a pretty good student. And so DJ graduated and did well in some areas of his life. He's now on his 3rd marriage. His first two marriages ended in divorce. I don't know if they were amicable about that's not important. And yeah, I guess you could call him a serial entrepreneur. And even though a number of his businesses have filed bankruptcy, today DJ owns 500 businesses. 500. DJ is worth, as of this morning, what I heard on the news, is worth $10 billion.
I know who that guy is.
DJ's last name starts with a T. It's Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is the name. Now, why did I bring Donald Trump up? Donald Trump, yeah. Because there's one invaluable small business lesson. The Republican Party currently has 15 or 16 people who have filed to be nominated for president, and only one is grabbing the majority of the news. Only one is making the headlines. Only one is driving the discussion. Only one is quoted more times on CNN than all the other candidates combined, and that is Donald J. Trump. And the reason why, aside from his celebrity, quote on Celebrity Apprentice, which I'm sure helps, and his high profile, Donald Trump is never boring. You may not agree with him. You may not like him or his hair or his politics or his stance on illegal immigration, but he is never, ever boring. There is going to be a Republican presidential debate mid-August, I think, on Fox. I would not watch it, except I know that Donald Trump is going to be on. They're only going to have the top 10 on the debate. I don't really care what the other 9 are going to be saying. I'm curious to see what he says, how he says it, and how people are going to react to him. So where's a small business lesson? And it's one that you mentioned earlier, Peter, that is one of my hot buttons. If you're going to start a business and you're going to be a little bit better than your competition, don't bother starting your business. I'll give you an example. The world's most popular ice cream flavor is vanilla. Just about every major ice cream company has a vanilla, and they call theirs a French vanilla or a vanilla bean vanilla, but it's just vanilla ice cream. If I were going to start an ice cream company, I would not try to bring to market a better vanilla ice cream. I would bring together a different flavor. And let me quote an example from a TV show that I think the three of us watch. It's called The Prophet with Marcus Lemonis on CNBC. I think it was a season or two ago. Marcus invested in a company called Mr. Green Tea. They make ice cream. And I was on their website yesterday. No one's going to talk about them today. Mr. Green Tea offers 4 flavors of ice cream. You know what one of them isn't? Vanilla. They don't offer vanilla ice cream. Why? If you want, again, well, wait a minute. No, Frank, vanilla has the most prospects. Yes, but you also have the most competition. You are one of many, and they may buy yours, but chances are they're going to buy the brand name or the one that's on sale. You cannot win by being vanilla ice cream. And the three of us talk to small business owners every week, especially Dick and I on Tuesday morning. And you know what I hear, Dick, when I hear the other people? I can't say all of them. Some of the other people talk. They're trying to be a better vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And
absolutely. Yeah.
Nobody cares, and the world doesn't need a better vanilla ice cream. You know what the world needs? A different flavor of ice cream. Pistachio. Rocky Road. I don't care what the hell it is. Mr. Green Tea, and I can't think of the brand. One is called Red Bean, the other one is Chai Tea Latte and Green Tea, and then there's a fourth one. I've never seen those flavors before. If you're going to start a business and just be a better, and you're always better, a better vanilla ice cream, don't bother starting your business. 15, let's assume there's 16 Republican national candidates. 15 of the 16, you know what they are? They're better vanilla ice cream. The governor of Indiana, maybe he's got an Indian flavored vanilla ice cream. The doctor from Johns Hopkins, maybe an African American vanilla ice cream. Mike Huckabee, a Christian vanilla ice cream, right? Anyways, and you can go right on. But you know what? I watched Scott Walker, who I like a lot. I like him a lot. He's done a great job in Wisconsin. We watched his announcement. Then he was on for an hour with Hannity. And after 10 minutes, I turned to my wife. I said, "Are you as bored as I was?" She says, "I've been that way for 10 minutes." There was nothing there that grabbed my attention. Be different or don't bother. That's the small business lesson from this week's twin. And gentlemen, that is my twin for this week.
And you're sticking to it, right?
Yeah, man, I am convinced now more than ever. I am so convinced of this. Believe me, I'm convinced of this. I believe.
Well, Dick and I were just discussing that last night, how our country may be completely lost and our only hope is Donald Trump. You know, and
Yeah.
I mean, what we, you know, it was interesting. There was I forget what I was listening to. Might have been Hannity, and he went back in time to what they said about Ronald Reagan when he was running, and you know, he wasn't a politician. That's a good thing. And you know, he wasn't this and he wasn't that, and he would never make it. And he turned out to be one of the best presidents we've ever had. And what we need now is not a politician. Every one of them says what you want to hear, and they get in there and they don't do anything different. And it just gets worse and worse and worse. Corruption.
And Peter, they all sound the same, using the same words, the same phrases, the same promises, and the same crap. And it's crap. And you know what? The American public has now caught on to that. And he said, don't give me, I'm sick of vanilla ice cream. Give me something different. Now, I don't agree with everything Donald Trump says. Far from it. But I like the fact that he's different. And I talk about Reagan. And this really upset me last night. There was a guy on one of the political talk shows, and he was saying about, he was there to diminish Donald Trump. And he says, well, it'd be interesting to see if he lasts because he will go away from the Reagan tradition. I'm saying, what? Reagan came out and said different things, like Trump is saying different things. He's not. Again, it was typical spin. And again, we're not going to get into him, but I am going to get into him, and you can block this out later. There were two Republican pundits that I admired, and now I don't like anymore because they're being unfair. They're being unfair to Donald Trump. And one is Charles Krauthammer, and the other one is Karl Rove. They're just being unfair. Krauthammer last week called him a clown car. Really? The gentleman runs 500 businesses. He's worth $10 billion. He's grabbed the heart of a lot of people in America and the attention, even of CNN, and you're calling him a clown car? Are you kidding me? You're out. Anyway, enough of my soapbox. That's my twin for this week. Sorry about that.
Dick, you want to weigh in on that?
No, I don't want to get into the political aspects of the thing, but I do have a question on that green tea. I know they were the profit, but were they on Jesus?
Shark Tank? Or?
Shark Tank, yes. But my age is getting bad. Weren't they on Shark Tank too? It seems like I remember them being on there.
I don't know.
I don't remember that. They may have been, but I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't remember. It was a father, a mother, and a son that were running the company, and the son had interesting ideas, and the father didn't want to take any risks.
Right.
Anyway, and then the son found a new building, and he misrepresented how much money was involved, and Marcus Lemonis almost walked away because it was double the amount he said it would take to fix it, and it was just anyway. It was it was a good show, but I don't remember them being on Shark Tank.
Okay, maybe I just remember from the Prophet then. So.
Right, but
Well,
they don't sell vanilla ice cream.
Right. Right.
um, the I watched part of the Prophet last night. He went back, revisited some people, and the Sweet Pete's, man, that guy's rocking it. That guy's going crazy. They're buying bigger and bigger buildings for his company. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, Sweet Pete.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I got another example of not being vanilla. Last week I talked about Allie Webb. Remember her with the dry bar? I talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Allie Webb is winning her space. By the way, she now has a lot of Me Too's, which are trying to be another Allie Webb. But she'll do well. She didn't open up another hair salon. She opened up a bar with free wine and champagne. The cashier called the bartender, who, by the way, does blowouts and blowouts only, and you don't see the blowout until she turns you around and you can look in the mirror and go, wow, I know what I look like when I come in, look at how I look like now. Allie Webb is definitely not vanilla ice cream. She's her own flavor, and she's the best at what she does. Uber is not vanilla ice cream. Again, we talked about Uber after a year this morning. And for the life of me, I just can't understand why someone's going to invest their 401ks or their whatever the money they have in their bank or max out their credit cards and try to be a better vanilla ice cream. It just blows me right there. Anybody would do that. But
Dick,
every day do. What?
Dick and I know a company that went from a wedge salad to a sliver salad.
Yeah.
No comment.
No.
Well,
and I have no idea who you're talking about, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's all good. It's just
Okay.
horrible to see things go backwards for people, you know?
Yeah.
But kind of like, you know, Dick's last Tuesday meeting, you know, everything going backwards. But
nothing's going forward for some reason.
Well, your air conditioning is getting fixed. It got fixed, apparently. That's going forward. I think that's a definition of persistence. My gosh.
Well, you know, it was that, or spend $700 to get something fixed that wouldn't have fixed the problem. So.
I still think a bottle of water and a hat.
Yeah. Well, I used that. I put it on last week.
So, all right. Hey, WordPress time. Update on the WordPress. Let me see if I can share. Get over here first to get where we want to go. Dick learned WordPress and ended up putting up a pretty nice site there. And here it is, Dick. Here's your site. And you want to talk about the process a little bit?
The process of putting it together? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've talked about the WordPress process, and Peter has spent months and months and months of learning it. And he said, "Hey, you want to convert your site?" And he said he'd help, and I said, "Sure." And Peter came up with the theme, and you have a ton of themes to choose from, and he found this theme that I really liked a lot, and from there, I developed the content of the site, and my goal was to try to make this a little bit more of a call to action website than my previous page, which was really a landing page, online brochure. And when I get to the end, I have a couple of comments on it, Peter, to tell you about. And so I did that, and the process is mighty frustrating. You need a lot of patience, and Peter jokes about it's intuitive and it's easy. Well, it's not. And what happens is sometimes you go through, you make your changes, you update it, you put them on, and you come back the next day, they're back to where they were before you made the changes. And I since found out that I was making probably 1 millisecond of a mistake by going to the page preview before it had finished updating, and by doing that, the update didn't stick. It looked good and all. So I guess the process was very frustrating. Very you need a ton of patience. The end result I am thrilled with. My wife proofread it for me over the weekend, and I asked her to look at it as a potential Legal Shield client, and she said it was great. But that's she may be biased a little bit, but I sent it to two people that I've known for years. One of them, Frank, is an ex Kramer. Frank and I both used to work at a company called Kramer Electronics, and their name is Carol Kearns, and she looked at it, and she gave me a couple, I think, really good suggestions of maybe adding a little bit. But her comment was, "Wow, that pops out on you. That theme that you picked out, Peter." She says, "Wow, that just hit me right between the eyes. It's great."
Mm.
And I sent it to another person that I've known for years from Marshall Industries, and got the exact same feedback as far as when it comes up, it just hits you, and that's what I wanted. That's what you delivered, because you found that theme, and it really is a great theme, and I couldn't be happier. I'm gonna do a couple of little tweaks to it, and then I got to come up with some kind of a grand opening announcement to put on social networking, and I've got to start blogging, and I got some events to put in there. It's a very it can be an interactive site, which my other one wasn't. You can update it. Now that I know how, I can update it pretty regularly. I can do a blog through there, which I'm going to start doing. So it really becomes the center point of my business. I'm going to use that as a center point, because I'm talking to somebody that maybe can help me on the group benefits thing, and I'm going to send it to them. Rather than sending brochures or videos or whatever, I can even just send a page on group benefits to them, and boom, and it's there. So I'm really thrilled with it, and I think it was 3 weeks ago, talking about how I'd lost momentum and how just things weren't developing. I see this as the cornerstone to my strategy going forward to help me drive business.
Well, there's something interesting going on here. When we go back home,
Yeah.
it can't find the home page because it thinks it's back over at
yours. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that on the mobile site? Because that happened on mobile. I didn't see it happen on the thing. So well.
I have to go in and try to figure out what's going on with that. When you do hit the richardbentley.us, you're right there.
Yeah.
It's just that this one button is so simple, Dick. I'm telling you.
It's simple.
One thing that is nice that we did get, if you want to join, we got an ability to go right to Dick's back end, I guess, of a Legal Shield.
Yeah.
So you can buy now right there.
Buy now, learn more. There's a ton of videos. You can, if you have more questions. It really streamlined the whole process.
Yeah. So that I think has been really good. And I'll have to figure out why it's doing this. This is very strange.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And I like that so much. Frank, do you have any questions on this before we go to the next thing?
No, it looks very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very professional.
There, video on every page, just about, pretty nice. I like this format so much that I actually went and built my new infocard.cc site around it. And I haven't transferred the URL over yet, but it's really nice. And I bought the upgraded Pro version so I could raise the font size of all of these, and I've got the 4 website sins running in here, so you can see the 4 sins of no keywords, stale content, no videos, no social media. And so this breaks out into my services, website strategy, and learn how to get more clients via social media. And then I've got I did put some ad copy in, kind of going back the old direction, but I still left in these 2 high power videos, and whatnot. So, and I got Aweber working in this thing, so it turned out pretty good. I think it'll go live today, but each thing we have keywords, and I tied in a shop with mine, so that you can purchase my services. And I don't necessarily like the way the shop is working here. Dick and I went through a couple of those things yesterday, and but the ultimate end result is pretty darn nice. And from that standpoint, let me see. There's nothing here that this shop. By the way, here's the problem with this shop: is these are actually clickable items, but you don't know that. And when you click on it, it takes you right to that, plus the product description and reviews and everything else. Now, this isn't laid out the same as. You guys got the BrussoShop.com
Yes.
up? Okay.
Yeah.
So you see this right away, and this is a WordPress shop theme, but here are the self-defense weapons. And when you click on this, you can get right over to the tools, and those look pretty nice. And when you click the picture, you get not only the description, but you get other stuff along below. In this case, I can put in podcasts or whatever, and related items. So this approach is certainly I like better than this shop, which is a standalone shop. I like the way it looks far better than I do my shop on the back end of this. And so, and these, when you go to click on them, don't do anything, but you get to see the pencils bigger. What the heck, you know? And unless you actually know to click here, which there's nothing to tell you that, you wouldn't be able to see the rest of the data or podcasts that I put in to back up why you want to do this. So I still have a ways to go on all of this mess to see how this is going to work. But it's so easy, even a caveman can do it.
Yes. That's right.
So, all righty. So, Dick, did you have something you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I kind of pick it up a little bit from your Fiverr comment. Last week we spoke about crowdfunding and sourcing and all, and I honestly knew basically zero about what this was, and so I did some homework over the week, and I have found that this is an amazing segment of the industry that is just booming. And I think as small business people should educate themselves on it, because it's a great way to maybe finance growth of your business, or you want to add something that takes $5,000 or something. It's a great way to do it. And go along, Frank has said how the smartphone has changed the industry with Amazon and all these shopping things. You do it all online, the whole thing. Well, the next step of that thing, Frank, is that fundraising, investing is now gone online, whereas before you'd have to go to a bank and do all these other things. The startup is moving from the boardroom to the deal room, and it's being done online. Aside this, tens of thousands of startups are opting to use the web and equity crowdfunding to find, pitch, and close investors. And I just found that fascinating because, like I say, 7 days ago I had heard of it, but I didn't know what it was, with this whole crowdfunding thing. So with that in mind, I did a little more investigating, and the number one crowdfunding site is GoFundMe. Now, GoFundMe is for personal things. I went on the website and I saw a wedding being planned that they're asking for funding on. I saw a charity thing for a boy who lost his arm. I remember when the riots happened, I think in St. Louis, where this pizza place burned down. This restaurant got burned down. They did a GoFundMe and raised $200,000 to put the lady back in business. And it's all personal. You go on this page after page. I won't bore you with the details and all, but there are obviously there are fees and all you got to pay, and each one is different, so you got to be careful with that. But the I went to Forbes and checked out what they're showing is crowdsourcing from a business point of view, and Kickstarter is the #1 site. I'm not going to read every paragraph here, but Kickstarter is a site where creative projects raise donation-based funding. These can range from new creative products like an art installation to a cool watch. So you got you have a new product. I don't know if that's blocked out or not on the thing. So you have a new product you want some funding. You go to a Kickstarter. The second one is Indiegogo, and there's Crowdfunder, Rocket Hub, CrowdRaise. If you're interested in more detail, I think just go to Forbes.com top 10 crowdfunding sites, and it gives a rundown on each one of them, and they all have different terms and conditions and all, but it is a way for a small business guy to get funding online, not go through the whole bank rigmarole, and what I've seen that it's pretty inexpensive way to raise some funds to grow your business or start your business or whatever. Now, in further looking at it, I found a site called Alexa Internet Incorporated. It's a California-based company and just so happens to be a subsidiary of Amazon. And they rate through their toolbar. If you have that on their thing, they rate each one of these companies, and they give you the lowdown as far as their fees, and a couple ones they pointed out what the hidden costs were and the whole thing. So I think this also is a good thing for you to, if you're going to use it, go to Alexa Internet and .com and get them get their data and research involved, so you can do it. Their top three is GoFundMe, Kickstart, and Indiegogo. So they seem to be the top one on every type of thing. So I just thought I'd pass that along. I think when you're running a business and cash is an issue, which it always is, and you'd like to do something, but maybe your credit isn't where it should be, so you can't. The bank's not going to give you anything. Or if they do, it's going to be a ridiculous interest rate. This is an option that is growing and growing. Crowdfunding, just the world's #1 personal fundraising website, is over $1.2 billion raised. That's amazing. That is amazing. And for something I didn't know anything about 7 days ago, I now know a little bit about, and I'm going to do some more research on it. And see, but that GoFundMe, which is again for personal stuff, is just helping people all over. When I saw the wedding thing, I said, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" But it's a good way to go. But it goes along, Frank, with what you've talked about. Is you right on your smartphone, you can buy things. You can now fund your business. You can do all sorts of things. So I just thought I'd give a little update on that, and maybe as we go on, if I find out more stuff, I'll throw some stuff in on that. So.
What was the oddest thing actually, did you see anything different between one and the other?
Yeah, they all seem to have different areas of focusing on. Like Kickstarter is for new products and all. Indiegogo is a donation-based fundraising kit for most anything: music, hobbies, personal finance needs. So if I need to get my car air conditioner fixed. I should have gone on there and did that. So they all have the areas that they specialize. Crowdfunder is a platform for raising investments, not rewards, and has one of the largest and fastest growing networks of investors. It was recently featured on Fox News as a new breed of crowdfunding due to the story of about a $2 billion exit of a crowdfunding company. So, yeah, they all have different areas that they do. They all have little different fees. When I went on the Alexa thing, one of them was pointed out there's hidden costs, and they pointed out where the hidden costs were. So do your due diligence and see which one fits your needs. Go to Alexa and see what their ratings are and what areas that may not be apparent. And it could be a very, very good way to fund growth in your business, or fix your car air conditioner.
or host your wedding.
Right. That's right. So
Frank, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah. I have a couple of questions. Let me make a statement. So, GoFundMe is a way for you to contribute to somebody's causes, but you don't get anything in return except maybe feel good.
right.
Is that
Yes.
correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Crowdfunding is where you're looking for investors, and I
Right.
assume in return for their investment they get equity.
Well,
Is
they
the
get
equity up
they get a
front?
percentage. Yeah, they get a percentage of, if if they give you $1,000 and it goes, they get, I think it's like 3%, or
Yeah,
back
but isn't
over and
that
above the
depend on,
1,000.
on the valuation? Is that the
Yes.
value? And who does the valuation of the company?
Well, I can't say I know enough about it to answer that, Frank, but I don't think they get into evaluations and things of this nature. It's not your typical funding
Okay.
apparatus. You decide that, hey, I think this watch is going to be a winner, and you invested it, and then you get a percentage over and above what you put into it. If it falls flat, you lose your money.
Okay.
People are.
So
It looks as though most of the contributors or investors rather are not investing a lot of money. The key is to get a lot of people give you a little bit of money. So
okay.
the downsides to me, if I decide I want to buy into that watch, is that I may lose $500, something like that.
Right. But so it's almost like playing a slot machine at the casino. Sometimes you win, and most of the times you don't. But so then when you go to crowdfunding, you know that you're going to give up this equity for this amount of dollars, no matter
Right.
what your
Yeah.
valuation is.
Right.
Number
Right.
two, how does crowdfunding prevent scams?
I
It
don't know.
doesn't.
I don't know.
I
It
don't think it
doesn't.
does. I know one thing: you don't get the money. Let's say you're looking for 20K.
Yeah.
You've got like 8 weeks to get that
Right.
money, and if you don't get that money, all the money that has been
You get
donated is
none of
held
it.
in escrow. It all goes back. You don't get anything.
Right.
So the idea has to be good enough that enough of the crowd would actually, risk
Right.
uh, risk. And I know
Mhm.
there's a guy that I met, Jeff Frost. He does that incredible time lapse photography stuff, and he crowdsourced through Indiegogo a project, and he got his money to do that. So people believed enough in what he did, and the way he explained it to me, this has been many months ago, but if they have different tiers of donations. If let's say you donate $10, you don't get anything, so to speak. It's just all goodwill. People that donate at a $500 level, they'll get, like in a movie case, they'll get to go on the set with you. A person that donates 1,000 or above gets a first signed copy of the movie. So there's different levels of engagement and rewards for the engagement, and so he got people that would donate, $1,000 to $5,000 and want to go with him on the shoot. They were really excited by that, and he did it. So all in all, there's all different kinds of ways to
Yeah.
get in people involved, but that was on Indiegogo, I think it was.
I have a ton more to learn about this segment here, and I'm going to do more research. My whole purpose today was to awareness and a way to do due diligence to make sure you're dealing with a good reputable source, and also, but there's a lot I don't know. I don't have the answers to on this. But it's intriguing to me.
It's an interesting business model, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I think we ought to put on instead of the wedge salad, the sliver salad, and raise some money.
Yes. Get more lettuce.
What are you doing there, Frank? You're waving your
Yeah.
cell phone.
I know when I started my software company, I flew all over the United States visiting doctors to invest for my company.
Right.
And when I was hired on a project to go to India and Singapore to raise money for 3 American companies, it was a lot of work and obviously a lot of flying.
Right.
Wow! Now I can do it on this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wow. Thank you, Steve Jobs.
Well, it's interesting. Like I said, I'd like to hear more about the difference in the business models between each of the
Well,
three.
I'll do some more research and get for next week's podcast. I'll give
Because
you.
I know they're not just looky
No.
likes. They each, and I guess the Indiegogo one seems to be more film related. Jeff was telling me that more of the film people head to Indiegogo than Kickstarter or Kickstart. And I haven't been over there for a while. I'll have to go visit that. I'll visit it for the show and certainly have show notes for that. But interesting business models, I think.
Well, next week I'll do part 2 and give it, kind of distinguish between the two. So.
That'd be great.
Models. Yeah. So that will be my segment next week. So.
Anything else, guys, you want to talk about, Frank?
No, I'm done.
Oh, all right, hang on. We'll call it another. Oh, by the way, this is podcast number 56 for us, guys.
Wow.
Not so bad for three old white fat dudes, right?
Fat old white guys.
Yeah, fat old white guys. There you go. All right, hang on.